Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Saranyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanubhishtam Purnam Radha Dasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharavaryam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismera Hasar Murali Manohara Radhikara Shikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulasi Deviyai Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatama Sri Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya, Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev, and also to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya, Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. To continue reading from Sri Gopi-gita, verse number 10. Prahasitam priya prema vikshanam viharanam chate dhyana mangalam rahasi samvido yahridis prishat kuhakano manaksho bhayantihi. O beloved Master, having seen you as you conversed intimately with us in secret places, your smiling face, which acts as a stimulus for our amorous desires, your glancing at us with love, and your expansive chest, which is the eternal resting place of the goddess of fortune. Our hankering to meet with you has increased manifold, and therefore our minds are repeatedly bewildered. So this verse is describing uh, what are the most stimulating things for gopis when they think about Krishna. And what are they? Krishna's smiling face, Krishna's glancing upon them, Krishna's expansive chest, and um, and then means all these things are increasing gopis' desire to be with him. So when they remember all these things, their desire to be with him increase so much. So commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhava Prakashika Vritti. As I have explained previously, Verse 9 has a particular meaning when recited by the gopis whose nature is submissive, and another meaning when spoken by those whose mood is contrary. When spoken in a contrary mood, it means, we recall that your loving pastimes with us, especially your sweet words, were most delightful. But when in separation from you, we hear someone repeat your words or recount your pastimes, it causes us much pain. Our pastimes with you are a source of much joy, but remembrance of them in your absence is certainly not. For example, Krishna may tell Srimati Radhika, "Oh Radhika, you are the very life of my life. I cannot live without you." Although these words fill Radhika with happiness, when she is reminded of the same words in Krishna's absence, she is overwhelmed with deep sadness. Another example is that Radhika's friend may tell her, "Krishna leaves all the other gopis for you." If Radhika hears these words when she and Krishna are apart, they evoke memories of their pastimes and cause her unbearable distress. Now, in the 10th verse, the gopis continue this line of thought. They utter four phrases, which each describing one of Krishna's captivating features. They say, "O cherished beloved, when parted from you, remembrance of your smiling at us," means prahasitam, "your tender glance, prema vikshanam, your intimate pastimes with us, viharanam, and your loving talks with us in solitary places, rahasi samvida, fills our hearts with pain." So we should always remember these four things. This is very important to understand the whole Gopi-gita. Yes, four most desired things by the gopis in their relation with Krishna. When in presence, it is most pleasurable. When is in separation, it is most painful, right? So each gopi has met with Krishna before and now relieves receiving his sidelong glance full of longing, gazing at the beauty of his smile and being taken in his arms. In her remembrance, she experiences profound separation from him. The gopis remember that when Shri Krishna goes out with his countless friends to herd the cows, Baladeva goes ahead while Krishna follows a little behind him. Play on his flute, and smiling, Krishna glances at them from the corners of his eyes. And in response, they worship him with their eyes. His glance fully expresses the longing in his heart. "Let us meet at Sankit." They read his glance and understand his message. So they talk using glances. They don't need to speak at all. They can actually have very long conversations, very deep kata can be given just by exchanging glances. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur explains that in this verse, the word samvida means friendly and joking conversations. Narma samlapa. As we discussed earlier, narma means friendly joking, and samlapa means conversation. Narma may also imply that the conversation has a hidden meaning which is quite opposite to the external meaning. The gopis remember this example of joking conversation with deep hidden import. With his flute playing, Shri Krishna called them to the forest. But when they appeared there, he told them to return to their homes. This is called Narma Samlapa, playful joking language that implies a completely different meaning from what is spoken. Hmm. So joking means what? Joking means implying something different than what you want to actually convey. Joking here is not making fun. Hmm. It may be funny, but in a certain way. What is that? I just repeat. Narma samlapa means joking language that implies a completely different meaning from what is spoken. Indirectly, Krishna was beseeching the gopis, do not return to your homes. Means when he addressed them as uh, great fortunate and tell them you should go back to your husbands. Actually, he is implying the opposite. Mm. Means don't go home, stay here. Rajanyesha ghora rupa, ghora sattva nishevita, pratyata brajam neha steyam strivisu madhyama. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:29-19. This night is quite frightening, and ferocious creatures are lurking about. Return to Braj, slender waisted girls. This is not a proper place for women. Krishna seemed to be saying, the night is dark and cloudy, and the dense forest is full of wild animals. You should return to your homes and serve your husbands. But later, when he left Vrindavan and began to reside in Mathura, he clarified the meaning of these words. He sent Uddhav with a message for the gopis, which read, that night, after I called you to the forest, you thought I told you to return to your homes. You should know that I did not say that at all. Actually, I said, do not leave. The moon is full, so the night is not at all dark and frightening, but the sky is cloudy and it may rain. And if it does, where will you take shelter? If you stay here with me, you will be safe. So that was the message Krishna sent through Uddhav to pacify the gopis. He's talking about that very night when he called them for the first time in Rasalila. Hmm. Because it said that just after performing Ras with gopis for the first time, then Krishna left for Mathura. So technically, they have performed once, technically. But of course, it happened many, many times. So Krishna had uttered the words Rajani Esha Ghora Rupa, which apparently mean the night, Rajani Esha, is dark, Ghora. However, there is a hidden between, another like letter A, hidden between the words Esha and Ghora, thus making it Esha Aghora. Hmm. The night is not dark. Hmm. Similarly, Rupa Ghora Sattvani Shevita, the forest is inhabited by ferocious beasts, becomes Rupa Aghora Sattvani Shevita. The animals in the forest are not at all ferocious. Hmm. So why it happens? Just because two A's together in Sanskrit they become long A, A. Hmm. So if they are spoken like in a flow, you cannot understand if that A is joining with the next word or not. Hmm. If this Esha, if this A from Esha is joining with Gora or not. That you cannot say only by speaking in a like in a flow, in a poetic way. You can't say. Only if someone explains, no, I mean like that. So because Krishna, he did not explain himself at that time, he did that only later. The gopis, they had to like interpret by themselves whatever was spoken by Uddhav, by Krishna. In that verse, the word na means not, can be applied to either the first part of the line or to the last part of the line. And thus two optional meanings are derived. In this way, pratyata brajam, go back to Braj, becomes na pratyata brajam, do not go back to Braj. And naihastayam, Do not stay here becomes ihastayam, means you should stay here. The gopis on the bank of the Yamuna now refer to their conversation with Krishna on that moonlit night. They say, within our hearts, we understood what you actually wanted, and that you were too shy to express your real feelings. We also were too shy to openly express ours. Our hearts contain sweet memories of such loving talks and pastimes. But now, in separation from you, these memories are the cause of deep sorrow. When someone dies, all of his friends and relatives grieve. A woman in mourning will weep for her lover. He had so much love for me, but now he is no more. In a similar way, the gopis become overwhelmed with the pain of separation from Krishna upon remembering his smile, his heart touching ways, and also his tricky, joking words, full of double meanings that indicated, for example, that they should secretly meet him in a Sanket Kunj. So Srila Gurudeva, he puts a footnote explaining what is the meaning of Sanket. Sanket refers to um, any assigned place of meeting for the divine couple. Okay, it's not necessarily a specific place, although there is a specific place known as Sanket, which is situated between Nandagaon and Barshana, where they also meet. But there are many Sankets scattered everywhere in Braj. Okay, so the gopis now say, we want to be free from these memories, but we cannot. We are absorbed in thinking of your beautiful smile, prahasitam, your tender glance, prema vikshanam, your intimate pastimes with us, viharanam, and your amorous talks with us in solitary places, rahasi samvida. In this way, we are always reminded of you. These four beautiful features bring auspiciousness to the heart, dhyana mangalam, but they also cause the heart to feel agitation, shobhayantihi. O cheater, the mere remembrance of these four features causes great disturbance to our hearts. You cheat us with your smile, you cheat us with your loving words, and you cheat us with your intimate pastimes. You cheat in everything you do. Your entrance in our hearts give us some pleasure initially, but later your presence there becomes like poison and kills us. So Srila Jiva Goswami comments on this verse as follows. Krishna is saying, O gopis, you know that I am difficult to attain. So why are you expressing your desires to enjoy intimately with me? Sometimes you say, please place your hands on my head. Sometimes you say, please place your lotus feet on our breasts. And at other times you say, your smile and everything else about you is so enchanting. Why do you speak like this? If you feel affection for me, then just listen to my Harikatha and be satisfied with that. Why do you want to see me face to face? Well, Krishna is very cruel. Huh? He's always like, trying to put gopis in such like state of anxiety, by speaking like contrary words to them. So in reply to this, gopis say, you yourself are the reason we cannot be satisfied simply by hearing your pastimes. The fault lies in your previous loving dealings in Purvaraga. You remember in the very beginning of Gopi-gita, we discussed that how Krishna, he was actually inspiring that desire in Gopi's heart. It means that desire was first in Krishna's heart. Then he put on them that desire, and then they manifested that desire to him, and he reciprocated with them. So it's like a very, very like confused thing. Actually, we don't know where it starts. Of course, it's eternally present in both hearts, you know. But technically, the gopis will always blame Krishna, and Krishna will always blame the gopis for who have that desire first and who actually means contaminated, we can say, in quotation marks, the opposite party. So, to what are the gopis referring? When Krishna goes cow herding, it is with the sole purpose of meeting with them. In fact, wherever he goes in Braj, it is with the intention to meet with them there. For example, early in the morning he goes to the Yamuna river, saying that he is going there to take bath. But he does not take bath. He simply stands under the Kadamba tree on Yamuna's bank, waiting for the gopis, whom he knows come there daily to fill their pots with water. On a pretext such as this, he arranges to go wherever they go. If he knows that they are going to Giriraj Govardhan to perform worship, he also finds an excuse to go there. This is the nature of Purvarag, anxious anticipation to meet with one's beloved. The gopis also eagerly want to meet with Krishna, and they find endless excuses to do so. They tell their superiors they are going to perform worship of Gauri, means the consort of Lord Shiva, or Surya, the sun god. But sometimes, just as they are about to meet Krishna, one of their superiors come along, like Jotila or Chandravali's husband Govardhan Mala, and all their plans are foiled. Hmm. The gopis know that Krishna schemes to make them look at him. They know that he plays his flute to attract them and then smiles, even though he has absolutely no reason to smile. By doing so, they now say, you increase our ardent longing to be with you and love you. But now you have disappeared, and that which you increased now causes us so much pain that we are not able to remain alive any longer. Perhaps we will die. The prefix pra in prahasitam means in an excellent way, and prahasitam means the most exquisite smiling or laughter. At every opportunity, Krishna laughs in a charming way and casts his long glances toward the gopis, sometimes from behind a tree and sometimes from within a kunja. Somehow or another, he contrives to send them the shafts of his arrow like glances coming from his loving lotus face, which is adorned with the most graceful and sweet smiles. A glance that carries the deep message of one's heart is known as Prema Bhikshanam. So, Prema Bhikshanam is the loving glance, that glance which will carry the message that in the heart of the lover there is that much love waiting for his beloved. Mm. The gopis proceed to give an example of the third of Krishna's charming features, namely his confidential pastimes, Biharanam. The way you strolled past us with one hand on the shoulder of your friend and the other hand twirling a lotus can be compared with nothing else. He rests his hand on the shoulder of a friend to indicate to the gopis, I want to be with you and place my hand on your shoulder. Similarly, he twirls a lotus to convey to them, my mind and heart is spin with the desire to be with you. If I cannot meet with you, I will die. He sends the gopis signals like this when he is with his cowherd friends, and the gopis perceive them from afar and understand them. In this verse, the word viharanam means a special kind of theft. means stealing. The Sanskrit verb ri means to steal. According to his specific definition, viharanam does not refer to stealing money, but to stealing the heart. In this connection, viharanam also denotes to walk with friends and to walk with a lady. When the gopis utter viharanam to refer to their attraction for Krishna in Purvaraga, before their first intimate meeting with him, it cannot mean to walk with a lady. In this instance, Krishna casually walks along with his friends, and his walking like this is only to show his desire to meet with them. He ambles along, nonchalantly, resting one hand on the shoulder of a friend and twirling a lotus in the other. In this way, he intentionally pulls at their hearts. Seeing this, they lose awareness of everything else and thus become mad. This scene is far superior to the scene of the meeting, far, far superior. So it's very interesting, very beautiful this description that Srila Gurudev is giving. Um, Krishna is um, mostly coming from the forest, from the cow grazing, and he is resting one hand on the shoulder of his friend, and he's looking at the gopis, and with the other hand, he's holding a lotus flower and he's twirling like this the lotus flower, showing that his mind is spinning for gopis, means with the desire to meet with gopis. And when gopis they see that scene, they feel this is much um, means this is much more pleasurable than the meeting itself. This is very like fascinating, very charming, like behavior of Krishna, and they love that. So Venugita is sung in Purvaraga, means the before meeting. So gopis they are like feeling the desire in their hearts. Some gopis they were like they heard about Krishna. Some gopis they saw his picture. Someone have made like a drawing of his picture. They became like they fell in love for him. Some gopis they just had like a brief glance of him somehow, but it was before their actual meeting with him. So this is Purvaraga, means this is how Venugit was sung, means spoken by gopis in that way. But Gopi-gita, this is sung in separation, means after meeting. Okay? So if you want to understand both sides of Gopi's view, you must study Venugit as well as Gopi-gita. One before meeting, then one after meeting. Still, even in that separation, the gopis may think, we have never met with Krishna. The first meaning of Biharanam, to walk with friends, refers to Purvaraga. Means when they are seeing Krishna with his friends, call her friends. They have not met with him yet, the gopis. But when the gopis speak of any pastimes that took place after they met with Krishna, such as he walking along with Radhika, Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, and so on, then the second meaning will apply, means walking with a lady. So Viharanam has two meanings. One in Purvarag, one after meeting. In Purvarag, this Viharanam means walking with cowherd boy friends. And after meeting, it means Krishna is walking with some gopi. Sometimes, when Radha and Krishna are strolling along side by side, Krishna rests his hands on her shoulders or the shoulders of another gopi. The gopis then spy a creeper entwined around the tamal tree. They see the blossoms that laden the creeper and the flowers that adorn the tree delight in each other's company and laugh gaily. And if there are many manjaris on that creeper, they merrily join in their laughter. The gopis now remember this incident, as well as a conversation that took place at that time. They say, "Look, how radiant this creeper is." And Krishna remarked, indicating that the creeper's happiness is due to being wound about the tree in a tight embrace. With these words, he intimated the gopis his desire, to the gopis, his desire to meet with them like this, upon which they became blissfully intoxicated, their deep moods of love for him further intensifying. So Krishna, he sees there is a creeper around a tamal tree. Tamal tree represents Krishna himself. So in his vision, what he sees? Oh, one gopi is embracing me. Like a creeper, this gopi is embracing this tamal tree, means this creeper is embracing the tamal tree, means some gopi is embracing me. Then he will point out to that and he will say, oh, how beautiful is this creeper, like, around this tamal tree. So that means he says to the gopis, oh, I also want to be embraced by you like this, because I am represented by this tamal tree and you by this creeper. So this is all indirect type of what to say, loving exchanges. But now Krishna is no longer within their sight, and they are recalling their confidential pastimes with him. The way he smiled, his loving glance, his amorous pastimes with them, and his intimate conversations with them. The gopis say, again and again, you playfully express your heart's eagerness to be with us. When we remember this, we are filled with hope that we will meet with you very soon. So each of the four, we are just about to finish this chapter, okay? Each of the four, Prahasitam, Prema Vikshanam, Biharanam, and Rahasi Samvida, is superior to the preceding one, thus making the fourth the best of all. It means there is a hierarchy on this uh, on these four characteristics of Krishna. First one, Prahasitam, then superior to that, Prema Vikshanam, and superior to those previous Viharanam, and the topmost one, Rahasi Samvida. Hmm. Means the intimate talk between Krishna and gopis in secret places. This is the best. Hmm. As mentioned, Prahasitam means smiling or laughing. When along with that smiling, there is also glancing with increasing love and affection, it is called Prema Vikshanam. Hmm. The gopis' amorous pastimes with him, Biharanam, are still superior. As the divine lovers gaze into each other's eyes and blissfully smile, they wander throughout the forest arm in arm. Means like together, no? Tied by arms, like embraced. And superior still and inclusive of all the other three features are their secret conversations, Rahasi Samvida, in which they touch each other's hearts by expressing the priceless moods contained there. In this way, there are gradations in the realm of perfection, good, better, and best. Okay, so a part of we have having these four, we have the gradation between them, and also we have the combination of them. So this is very, very important. Mhm. They can be isolated, but they can also be in sequence, one after the other, in the same situation. Means they are walking in the forest together. And at that time, they're glancing each other, they are smiling to each other, and they are speaking secret things to each other. These are the four combined, all together. The phrase Rahasya Samvida also has its own speciality. Krishna's loving talks with the gopis so deeply touch their hearts that they become embedded there. As a result, the gopis cannot remove remembrance of those intimate conversations at any time, even if they desperately want to do so. And they conclude, we believed that these interactions were based on true love, but now we see that you are nothing but a cheater and a hypocrite. You never spoke to us from the core of your heart. You spoke only to cheat us. If you had any love and affection for us at all, you would appear before us, but you do not. Hmm. So, this is the end of the 10th verse of Gopi-gita. It's interesting to note one thing. Here seems that gopis are angry with Krishna because he's not doing something that they want him to do. Hmm. But actually, we know that in the last verse of Shikshastakam, Ashlishava Padaratam Pinastumam, Adarshana Marmaratam Karutuva, Yada Tatava Vidadatulam Pato, Mat Prananatas Sa Evana Paraha. Radharani, she's saying, even if you don't appear in front of me in the appointed time, I don't care. If that is for your um, pleasure, I don't care. You will always be my prananat. So now they are like in angry mood with him. Now they're upset. Hmm. But doesn't mean that they actually really think like so. What is actually the real implyment here is that they want him to appear in front of them, not because of their happiness, but because they know that Krishna is suffering alone over there. And it will be the best for him, for his happiness, to appear in front of them. That is the real like import of this. Although it seems that they are upset by Krishna's decision, they are not. They are actually upset because Krishna made the wrong decision. He took the wrong decision to leave the gopis because now he's suffering, not because now gopis are suffering. That's the main thing. What gopis want to say is that Krishna, you are suffering there. What are you doing there? Appear in front of us. It will be better for you. We know that. We know that you are only happy with us. Same thing what they tell when they meet at Kurukshetra. Now, in the occasion of Ratha Yatra that we are celebrating, all this Leela is coming up again. That how gopis are telling Krishna, you are not happy in Dwaraka. Therefore, you should come with us to Vrindavan. That is the only way for you to be happy again. We know that. Like that. So we will continue next time. Next verse number 11. Hare Krishna.